Lee in line, but it is the top line. They're going with their second line, and we are away. Women's ice hockey live from Cambridge, the Cambridge Ice Arena, and it's COVID sends a shot on through of the game. That's going to be covered up by Sophie Fisher. So first shot attempt didn't make its way through. Maybury will be in the face-off circle with Suzanne Antel. So that's going to be ripped from the blue line straight into a Cambridge body, and now Oxford looking to break for the first time. They're into the off zone. Antel puts on the brakes, loses her footing, and one of the Cambridge captains coming away with it, Alicia Anderson. Still Anderson goes forehand, that's been gloved and deposited by Sophie Fisher, frozen up for the second time in short order. We are just underway after a fabulous award ceremony as Professor Bill Harris inducted into the UK Ice Hockey Hall of Fame for a life spent serving this brilliant sport. Been a huge driver between this beautiful building that we are bringing you the action from today. So that's behind the net. Oxford trying a defensive zone, making heavy work of it as that's being centred behind. And Oxford will clear the zone as Flingstrom over the line, drops it back. No attempt on net there from Katie Zhang as it gets clear of the goaltender. Of course, Alice Beardmore, former field hockey player, turned ice hockey goal extraordinaire. We're going to have a penalty. So Cambridge will get the opportunity to have an extra skater should they choose to take it, but first they need to clear their own zone. They will not get that opportunity, but it's the first call to the penalty box. And that's going to be Flingstrom. Boarding call on Flingstrom. So that's going to be a 2-minute power play for Cambridge. Firstly, welcome. That means Cambridge have a player advantage, or until they score, whichever comes first. And that will clear the zone. Start to the PK. 80% PK defence from Oxford. So what does that mean? That means that the opposition will score roughly 1 in 5 penalties that they get, power plays that they get. As Anderson sends it back up into the corner. Then rips it on goal, rips it through, and Cambridge lead the Varsity 1-0. Alicia Anderson, 27 goals on the season. Devastating. Credit Julia Maybury with the assist on the first goal. Brings a very quick conclusion to that power play from Oxford. So both sides back up to full strength. Cambridge with the 1-goal advantage. So power play goal as Anderson remains on the ice, bringing it up from behind her own net. It's a nice pass threaded through to Maybury as Cambridge changed their defenders. It's Maybury still dragging it, tried to dump it in front of net for Sodi to chase. Nothing given there. And his own. Good back with Oxford, it's Antelm. Blasting with Maybury. Into the corner. Still Antelm looked to set through Gloria Lee. And hands in the air, we've got a high stick. I think that's going to go on Maybury. Margarita Scanlon, the guide dog extraordinary. Number 38, Tiffany Duno. Number 42, Katie Driver. Number 66, Emma Walker-Silverman. Number 68, Leanne Iorio. And number 72, Suzanne Antelm. Now you're up to date with the Oxford Blues. Get you up to date with the Cambridge Blues when we get an opportunity during a break in play. As Cambridge with Antelm, she's been so lively. Early contender for player of the game for me. As Oxford have to go and do some chasing in their own zone. On the defensive end. Ripped on net, but blocked. Now Antelm in a foot race with Anderson. Again tangled up, and Anderson wins that first battle. Looks to. Plays it high off the glass, out of danger. Fabulous bit of defending as Maybury drives forward on the left side, gets by Scanlon, goes inside, gets tangled up. Great defense by Lee. Not able to get on top of that loose moment in the net from Fisher. She got just a little out of her crease. As Naomi Jenkins battles it across the blue line for Cambridge. Alyssa Yuan loses out, and now driving forward. It's Lee. Oh, Sashi Bedford on the spot with a fine defensive interception. Now Lim forced to retreat into her own zone. Dumped along the boards. Now driven back by Feng. Feng's going to go across the blue line. Tracked all the way by Bedford. Feng, and that's been gobbled up on the second attempt by Alice Beardmore. Went for the glove hand. Did claim it, but not the most convincing on the first attempt. Did a great job on the second. Again, if I'm right in saying, this is also her first season as a netminder. And fun fact, she's been friends with Melissa Yuan since they were about 5 years of age. Yuan, of course, wearing 88 for Cambridge. Seriously impressive defender. As that's been centred, slapped on goal. That was Orla Donnelly able to get a blade to it, preventing it getting through to her goalie. As Flingstrom battling along the boards. That's been won by Oxford in the offensive zone. Bodies hit the deck, sticks going with him. Anderson and Flingstrom battling it out. If they can find Driver, they can't. But what an opportunity that would have been for Katie Driver. As Anderson leaves the zone, she goes down, takes Rossi with her. Ready to get back underway. 17:02 left in the second period of play. As Houston took it into the Oxford defensive zone. It will be cleared. Presty not able to deny the advance of Oxford. As Yuan plays it off the boards. Kept in the zone. It's behind goal. Beardmore wasn't 100% sure where that went, I don't think, for a second there. As Yuan trying to bring it forward. Bedford dumps it off as far as Scanlon in the Oxford jersey. Clears the zone. Does exactly what she needed to do. Now Driver travels with it. Centering shot attempt. Blocker save. There for the second attempt was Feldman. Equal to it though was Beardmore. I think she just about had her right side covered. Another centering opportunity, Feldman. Not quite where she would have liked to have been as Cambridge cleared a zone. It's still in possession of Anselm. That's a dangerous place for it to be from a Cambridge point of view. As Anselm drives, centres, no goal, no shot attempt even. Despite great positioning. On net, wide left. Iorio sends it in. Sent around another save. More. No. What can be done? It's still on the offence for Cambridge. Sassy Bedford had it in front. It was taken away from her. And now Anderson forced to retreat. A change coming as Zedler and Jack leave as Anderson hits her with the spin cycle. Taking her over the blue line. Anderson rips it on goal on the second attempt. As that will stay just in the offensive zone. Anderson taking a break. As Melissa Yuan needs to go and do some defending. As Mabry, in fact, picks up the puck. And Mabry has some room ahead of her. Now she's picked up by Duno. Mabry tried to go backhand. Wasn't able to gather it cleanly as we've got bodies flying everywhere on the ice. 2 plays 1. Cambridge in the lead in the Varsity. 12:30 left in the second period of play. Jenkins is dispossessed. Great use of the body there. Jessica Feng, and Feng ushered out of it as she heads up the sidelines. Again, with that Oxford goal, this game has gone up a notch or two in terms of intensity, speed, and physicality. As Mabry, it's a 2-on-2. Mabry tries to go for the shot. Great use of the body to defend the goal. Puck still loose, ripped on net, and it stays out. Some minor miracle. And now Oxford, they're looking to break. It's Katie Zhang. Picked up by Melissa Yuan. And that's going to go around behind back of goal. In fact, Beardmore called into action. She got her stick, it looked like, caught up in the side netting. And I think, thankfully for everybody involved, the puck is frozen and we're trying to take a quick breath. What a game of hockey's broken out here. Two plays 1. Cambridge in the lead. But it's been such a balanced game of hockey to this point. As Anderson will collect that pass. It was intended for Driver in front of Alice Boardmore's net. And now Anderson just taking it alone. Has Sodi with her for company if need be. Looks to drop it off to Mei Lee. Mei Lee tries to send it in behind goal. And Sodi is looking to chase. But in fact, that's been picked up by Duno. Anderson plays it back on the boards, looking for Lee in the corner. Now coming away is Driver. Guarded by Anderson. Walker Silverman. And Scanlon loses out. Oh, Cambridge would have been away there had they've got it clear. Anderson bunts it forward. Mei Lee's not able to pick it up. But in fact, Sashi Bedford can. And it's Bedford going along the blue line, looking for maybe a centering pass. It's Colvard. Battled its way behind the net. Anderson. Mabry. Mabry drives into the offensive zone. Looks to centre, that's come off Feldman's skates. And it's been picked up by Tiffany Duno. And back as far as Anderson. It's Mabry. Plays it forward to Sodi. No change coming. And that will clear the zone again. Defending needed to be done and was done well there. Initially at least by Presby. But late with the smooth moves. Not smooth enough to prevent the offsides. That is a let-off of sorts for Cambridge. 2 plays 1, 9:23 to go. Second period of play, 106th Varsity weekend. We're watching the second game of the day. It's the women's varsity match brought to you by Aldi. And again, massive thanks for you joining us here today as Anderson has it on her second in defensive end. Rossi able to get it clear, only as far as Angie Liu. As Maybury gets it into the offensive zone, has Rossi for support, puts it on herself. Good save made by Sophie Fisher. Centering pass, nobody able to get to it. That's going to leave the zone. Presty was in a good spot for it. Was in a good spot, maybe not necessarily for where that Anderson. Under pressure in her own zone, but I mean, is Anderson ever truly under pressure? Maybury thought about it, wanted to grip it and rip it. Unable to drive that towards goal. As Lee, looking to tie things up, was in the central position. Plays hit the deck. Again, arms stayed down from our officials. As a skater loses her footing. That was Lizzie Jack hitting the deck, but an opportunity for changes for Cambridge. As Oxford dump it in, Antelm is on the prowl. Melissa Young has to be alive to it, and she is. As Sashi Bedford driving away. Antelm and Bedford going to battle on these near side boards. Yuan and Feng getting it mixed up. Bedford comes over, helps out her defender. Now Bedford heads to the corner. Still Feng battling away. Combative performance so far in this one from Jessica Feng. Flingstrom sent it so nearly onto the stick there of Katie Zhang. As that's sent back in, Melissa Yuan having to work hard for it. 7 minutes to play, second period of play here in the women's varsity match. Yuan plays it, tries to clear. That's been clipped of Flingstrom. Out of play. We'll have a face-off, an opportunity for fresh legs on the ice. 6:46 to go. Second period of play here. Cambridge 2-1 up in the varsity match. Face-off taking place out. Won by Oxford. They're looking to drive down this left flank square. Save made by Beardmore. Needs to cover this near side. She does. In the meantime, Cambridge clear the zone. And icing will be the call. So we're going to head back up to the other end. 6:29 to play in the second. So it's going to be Maybury for the face-off. Won by Oxford. Lim got the shot away. Beardmore with the save. Wasn't sure where that rebound went. She thought it went to her left side. It went to her right. As we stay battling in the Cambridge zone. As Anderson, Sodi. Enough for a moment, just for a bit of respite. 6 to play in the second. And Sashi Bedford. In fact, sorry, Maybury driving through. Finds Anderson. Anderson rips it. A save. Well, there's a little bit of afters in front. Lim and Maybury. Players. Defenders always very defensive of their goaltenders. And I see roughing calls here for Lim and Maybury. So they'll offset. So unsportsmanlike rather than roughing. 2 minutes for Lim. So we've got a roughing call for Maybury. We've got an unsportsmanlike call for Lim. So offsetting minor penalties. So both sides will have 5 players. Cancel out one another. And the 2 players can only return to the ice at a stoppage. So, just confirmation that because they offset, because they taking the penalties off the boards, they still apply to the players, but that we have to wait for play for the next whistle after the 2 minutes for the players to return to the playing surface. So theoretically, that could be in 5 minutes of 7 seconds time at the end of this first period. I somehow doubt it, but it could happen. So Cambridge, they're leading the way 2-1. Anderson, game, playing hockey since she was a youngster. Used to be a goaltender, but switched when she moved to the UK. Claims that scoring goals are more fun than keeping them out. But who's to argue with Alicia Anderson, who has been an absolute points machine. 26 goals heading into today, 6 assists, 32 points total, 6 power play goals, where she's been particularly effective. And that was her first goal today on the power play. Ripped and ripped from the blue line. The player in the box for Cambridge was Maybury. She also assisted Anderson on that first play. And again, Maybury played hockey since she was 4. I think the reason she's not a goalie is that her elder brothers used to dress her up in goal, slap shops at her. She stepped on the ice as a very young kid before she even knew how to skate. She said, "Hey, where's my stick?" So it's going to be Feldman, who only started playing, came to university, who will be taking this face-off against Sashi Bedford. As our officials go and explain what is going on to the Oxford coaching staff. That is head coach Philip Borowiak, the assistants Jack Haynes and Lisa Murata. Coaching staff for Cambridge, Bill Harris, Dan McConnell and Yoa Oshizaki, who used to play for the women's team, very decorated player for the women's team, and is now plying her hockey trade for the local Cambridge Kodiaks women. The Kodiaks playing away today, yep, in Peterborough, the former home of Cambridge University Ice Hockey Club, of course, before this beautiful arena was built and opened in 2019. We're back underway. The action resumes, so again, the offsetting margin down, but the players cannot leave the box until a whistle after their 2-minute penalties are up. And that also means that a goal does not clear them off the board. As forced to retreat into her own end is Feng to gather in that puck. Zhang putting the pressure on. As far as Feng, she has to wait. In fact, puck just drifted back over the blue line. For the offside, 5:10 to play. Walker, Silverman and Anderson in the face-off circle. Underway, face-off won by Oxford, and it's Walker Silverman, rips it on goal! Glove save! Huge save! Alice Beardmore. Absolutely robs Walker Silverman of what would have been her 7th goal on the season. 35 goals in her 70-game Oxford career. Total points in those games as well. She's had 35 goals, 33 assists as that finds its way through towards the goal. Anderson's going to go and collect. She's got company, though, of one of the Oxford players. In fact, it's Walker Silverman is with her. Anderson does a great job. Again, she just does not feel pressure. Held it behind her own goal for minutes. Well, not quite minutes, but under huge pressure. It must have felt like minutes. As that's going to clear the zone. Played there. Oxford forced to retreat. A bit of a foot race. Colvard is going to win that. Takes the puck with her. Anderson takes it over the line. Oh, great. Welcome back into the Cambridge Ice Arena 106 Varsity weekend, and this game is in the balance. Women's Varsity match, the Coin Cup, is what is at stake. As both sides are now amassing their respective entrances to turn to the playing surface. 20 more minutes to decide this one. Separate these two sides who are barely separable. As Cambridge, they trail 3-2 to Oxford. As the Blues getting the big send up for the final period of play. Arguably the most meaningful 20 minutes of hockey of the season for these women is ahead of them right now. Varsity, yes there are leagues, yes there are nationals, but nothing quite compares to going toe to toe, blade to blade between Oxford and Cambridge University. Now, just to make sure that you're up to speed, I'm going to quickly run through the Cambridge lineup. Yes, I recognise we're in the third, and yes, I recognise that you've heard all of these names, but we will do that nonetheless. In net for the Cambridge University Blues, Alice Beardmore. Wearing 2 is Ha-Young Choi. Wearing 5, Marie Zedler. 7, Sashi Bedford. 8, Frederick Houston. Number 11, Alicia Anderson. Number 14, Naomi Jenkins. 18 is Julia Maybury. 21 is Lisa Rossi. Simrat Soni wears 25. Ali Presty is in 30. Lizzie Jack is in 44. Grace Calder is in 77. Mengguan Lee is in 62. 81 is Orla Delaney. And 88 is Melissa Yuan. Until we put this game on its head in the face-off circle for Oxford. Go up against Maybury, and he's going to win it, because that's a little bit of physicality immediately. And Maybury taking it up, looking to answer straight away, as they were goals right at the end of the first period. That turned this game around for Oxford. A 12-second shift for that second line outfit. Now the top line are in for the visitors. That falls to Houston, battle away. Now Lee, and it's with Flingstrom. Flingstrom with room to shoot. Alice Beardmore wasn't 100% where it was. The one thing she did know was that it was not in the back of the net. She stayed down on the ice for a moment. Hopefully nothing too major. So, jammed up her leg or hip or something. It's such a tough sport, ice hockey, and being an ice hockey goalie in particular on your lower half, of course. Back to her feet. Cambridge do not have a dressed goaltender on the bench, as she's rightfully being warmly applauded. 28 seconds into this final period of hockey. She throws the puck on that save. So it's going to be an offensive zone face-off for the visitors. That will be just about kept in the zone, as Lee wanted to try and get it onto her forehand, was not able to. Duno not able to get it past Sashi Bedford, and Oxford unable to get it into that offensive zone. They do deny Cambridge into their zone, however, as Melissa Yuan in a bit of a battle here, and in a massive pickle. Beardmore once again equal to it. She's got the paddle down, prevented the shot being taken as Duno and Sodi mix it up in the middle. Now Bedford not able to get clear. Flintstrom once more so instrumental in this matchup. Been picked up by Yuan. And the lifelong friends, defender and goaltender, so great chemistry between those two as Maybury goes coast to coast. Tries to play it forward. That's going to be picked up by Tiffany Duno. Long shift by this defensive pairing. That's gone all the way through. So icing is the call. Yes, it is. So any Oxford players that try to leave the ice will have to return. Cambridge, though, able to get a fresh pair of skates and legs out there. Face off won by Cambridge. Anderson rips it on goal into the corner of the rink. That's going to send Choi skating a long way back. Antelm putting her under pressure. Antelm does win that particular foot race. Tries to centre. Nothing doing. So that took a touch on the way through. Anderson battling along the boards. 3 players involved there. The puck is just not budging. And now it's been taken by Oxford. Not able to get that shot away. And a brilliant poke check by Anderson. A very neat stick lift there in kind from Jessica Feng. As Oxford heading into the offensive zone. Beardmore did just enough, got glove on it, and then sent it around back. Flintstrom trying to make things happen on the offensive end. Anderson just gives way to Maybury. Plays it up the boards, but that doesn't clear the zone. Maybury. Power of good, strong skaters in this sport. She gets onto her forehand, that's ripped into the corner, took a deflection on the way through. It's Jenkins trying to battle away with, I think that was Flintstrom, who's gone to ground. It's Anderson. Tries to hit it from the blue line once again. Force Sophie Fisher into action. Able to get the paddle down, knock it away from her goal crease. Another battle in the corner, this time won by Oxford. Nesuan keeps it in the zone, but not on the second occasion. And Lee through on the breakaway. It's a tough angle, gets the shot away, saved by Beardmore. Second save by Beardmore, she covers up, freezes the puck. And it's going to be an offensive zone face-off in the Oxford offensive zone. There's changes coming for both sides. 16-19. There's a little atmosphere of tension in the Cambridge Ice Arena. As the hosts down by 1. And in the 2 varsity games that have already been played this weekend, this is the first time Cambridge have trailed. Of course, Oxford, reigning champions of the women's varsity match, the Coin Cup. As Presley tries to send that forward. Some nice skating there from Rebecca Lim, and Lim takes it coast to coast, not able to get the shot away like she would have wanted. Beardmore equal to it as that's swept across the centre of goal. Walker Silverman not able to get her stick on it, and that's just going to be dinked clear. Sashi Bedford. Fisher stays home, thought about heading up onto the ice. Together, shot on goal, paddle save, and Fisher will cover up, making sure. I don't know if you'd have seen that, I don't quite know what shot we had, but you saw her stretch out to gather the puck and then made sure that her feet were still within her crease. So if you're in your crease, you can freeze the puck. If you're out of the crease, that's going to be delay of game penalty. You saw that good hockey IQ from Fisher. I think she was pretty comfortably in, but momentarily may have lost exactly where she was on the ice. Oh, that's really well won by Maybury! Off the crossbar, comes up huge for the goalie. And now a foot race, and Anselm is always going to be a dangerous one, and in fact, icing is the call. So again, talking about safety, we had a boarding in, not in this game, in the previous game. Talking about player safety, no touch icing. Such a good thing for pace of play as well as, of course, player safety. That's been dumped into the corner. Maybury battling away. And Flingstrom gets it clear. And again, it's going to be a 2-on-1. Holford should get there comfortably enough. She's only able to just dink it at the ice. Maybury finds Anderson. But Cambridge really hemmed into their own zone at times. This is where dumping it in and chase can work really effectively for Oxford, as Houston is free on this right flank if she can be found. She stays on sides as Anderson puts on the brakes. Big collision there in the middle of the offensive zone. And there's a whistle. Ooh, we've got a penalty. So Anderson sent to the box. So check.